A 7% cost of living adjustment raise from 2022. This would include Social Security, retirement, disability, SSDI, survivors, SSI, and VA beneficiaries. I have all the details for you and some new information that was just released earlier this morning. Let's get right into it. But if you haven't done so, or if you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button right down below the video so you can join the #1 channel right here on YouTube dedicated to bringing you daily updates as it pertains to low income, no income, fixed income, Social Security, SSDI, SSI, VA, RRB, money, benefits, stimulus packages, stimulus checks, and so much more that we're covering in these videos every single day during this time that there are so many different proposals, amendments, reform, and so many different things going on out there. It is changing very rapidly, and I'm right here by your side every single day as your one and only daily advocate, bringing you all these updates so that you can stay tuned with everything going on, because realistically, whether we like it or not, it is all going to impact us in some way, shape, or form, and therefore I want to make sure that you're staying tuned with this, and when the announcements come out that anything comes up, I want to make sure that we're taking advantage of any of these programs, money, benefits, whatever else we can possibly get our hands on right now. So again, thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button right down below if you haven't done so yet, and let's get right into this. One quick side note, yes, my wife Corey will be back here in just a couple minutes with the new updated list of shoutouts for those names pulled right out of the fan club, so stay tuned for that as the list is changing in every single video. All right, so we have a lot going on already today. We have a new announcement that just came out a short time ago earlier this morning, and this is some pretty big information, and I want to share it with you in this video and what analysts and economists are already suggesting for this year, 2022. There's a lot going on, so let me lay this all out for you. Earlier this morning, we got the latest reading on inflation. Now again, all of this is going to lay into the cost of living adjustment, this 7% that I'm talking about right here for all of these beneficiaries, about 70 plus million beneficiaries. A lot of people, right? So earlier today, we got the new reading on inflation data. This is a number that is released every month. Only once per month it comes out, and it's the latest reading in regards to the previous month, and it shows us the rate of inflation from that previous month. Well, I hope you're sitting down right now, but this is going to come as no surprise to anybody. The latest reading on inflation shows month over month it is up 0.5%, so 0.5% month over month. Okay, it's not the hottest we've ever seen, but it's also not the lowest we've ever seen. That's still pretty elevated considering where inflation should usually historically be. But get this number. Year over year, it is up 7%. This is the highest number that we've seen since mid-1982. Wow, 40 years ago, baby. That's a long time, right? Unbelievable. Seriously, this is what we're dealing with in today's world, right? 7% inflation year over year. However, let me give you a little bit more background information here, and then we'll lay this into how it's going to translate into a raise for all of these beneficiaries, because this is actually very important to understand. According to analysts and economists, already this morning, looking at this inflation data and looking out into the future using their crystal ball and their ability to kind of predict what's coming in the future, they're actually predicting that this inflation will continue to be very elevated as it is right now through the vast majority of 2022. For the first half, 3 quarters, for the first 3 quarters of 2022, possibly starting to wane a little bit in the 4th quarter of 2022. Wow. So again, please, I hope you're sitting down. Buckle up, everybody, because this is not going to be a good year when it comes to rising prices and everything else that's coming down. So we saw this in 2021. We thought inflation was high then. Oh, no. No. According to what they're saying, this is just the start of it, and this 7% figure is something we can probably rely on for the next several months going forward through the vast majority of 2022. Wow. Great. Just what we wanted to hear. Thank you so much. We're so happy to get this information. Thank you. All right, so here's how this is going to translate into a 7% or thereabout raise for millions and millions of beneficiaries who receive Social Security, SSDI, SSI, VA benefits. So here's what we're looking at. Here's what the Social Security Administration does to calculate the cost of living adjustment for the following year. They go into the third quarter, so they use the inflation data out of July, August, and September. They take those 3 months and they use the inflation data for those 3 months to calculate what the cost of living adjustment is going to be for the following year. So let me give you a quick example. In 2021, they took the inflation data from July, August, and September. They ran it through their calculation, their formula, and it came up with a 5.9% cost of living adjustment, which they started implementing for the new benefits here in 2022. So that's how they did it. So it's going to be the same thing for 2023. They're going to look at the inflation data from July, August, and September of 2022, run it through their formula, their calculation, and then it's going to come out with a number that gives us the the cost of living adjustment for 2023. According to the current models, the estimations from analysts and these economists, everybody that they're talking about right now, they're suggesting that this 7% inflation data numbers could continue through the vast majority of 2022. Therefore, we could be looking at a cost of living adjustment pushing 7% for 2023 for millions and millions of beneficiaries. Like I said, 70 plus million beneficiaries who receive all these benefits. That's huge. Here we are in 2022 thinking that a 5.9% raise was nice, right? Well, at the time when it was announced, we thought, oh, that's pretty good. Not too bad. But here we are a couple months later and we're saying we're already behind the curve, right? We're already behind everything right now when inflation is 7% and the raise was 5.9%. We're already off by 1.1% from where we should be, right? So I don't think it's going to come as any surprise to any of you here in the community. I read your comments down below. I see what you all say about the cost of living adjustment. And yeah, right? So again, this is probably going to translate into, once again, another massive Medicare Part B premium increase. But of course, we won't know that until much, much later this year. Usually in mid-October, around the 15th or so, is usually when the Social Security Administration comes out and announces the cost of living adjustment for the following year. So that's when we can anticipate it then. And as far as the Medicare Part B premium, usually that comes out in like early November time. That's usually when it comes out, around then. So again, it's a long time out from right now, many, many months out. But I wanted to lay this out here for you because this is the new inflation data that was just released a few hours ago this morning. And according to what these experts are saying, this inflation is still running hot and it's going to be very, very hot here for the next several months, then actually the next couple of quarters here throughout the course of 2022. So not exactly what we wanted to hear, but this is something that we've got to look forward to going forward. However, I just came across another report as I was doing more research on this. Get this, and again, this is going to come as no surprise to any of you. Food prices. Guess how much food prices on average are up already in 2022? This is unreal. What are we into 2022 so far? Not even 2 weeks as of this recording. Today is January 12th. So as I'm recording this video, January 12th, we're not even 2 weeks into the year yet. Guess how much grocery prices have already gone up this year on a percentage basis? Yeah, you want to guess? 5%. That's what the reports are saying. I just came across a report and they said, so far this year in 2022, grocery prices have already gone up 5%. This is unbelievable. Like, where are we living? What is this that's going on right now? You know what I mean? It's almost like, at what point are we going to get some relief? Like, at what point are we going to see this start to calm down? Here's one other thing I want to mention here quickly, and then I can let you go on this. I just thought of this, and again, I didn't have any plans on talking about this, but I wanted to mention this. And the chairman of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, he's the guy who, he's the chairman of the Federal Reserve. So he's kind of like the head guy when it comes to the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is who pegs interest rates. So they're the ones who have the ability to raise interest rates and lower interest rates. Right now, interest rates are sitting at about zero, right? Pretty much zero. They're bottomed out. They can't really go any lower. If they do, we're going to be going into negative territory, just like some of the European countries have done. And basically, that just forces people to spend money. It's the whole point behind going negative, is to force people to take money out of savings and spend it in the economy, to boost the economy. It's the whole reason why they do it. However, he's already mentioned that this inflation right now is really impacting the job market and wages. And also, he's also discussed that they're going to be raising interest rates about 3 times this year. Well, we've also seen big banks over in New York, like Goldman Sachs, for example, already estimating that they're going to be coming out with 4 interest rate hikes so far this year, which usually probably relates to about 25 basis points, about 0.25% per rate hike for about 1% throughout the course of the entire year. It's not much, but my point behind all of this is the sooner that the Federal Reserve actually raises interest rates, it may actually slow down some of this inflation. But it's kind of like, a positive and a negative. On one hand, yes, inflation is running super hot right now, taking more money out of our pockets and our wallets every time we go to the store. But on the other hand, if they raise interest rates, it's going to impact us when we maybe need to float a balance on our credit card, or if we have adjustable rate loans, personal loans, lines of credit, maybe an auto loan, maybe an adjustable rate mortgage. When they actually raise interest rates, it's going to start banging on those things, raising rates, and then we have to pay more there as well. So on one hand, we're maybe paying less in interest right now on our loans, any money that we're borrowing or that we're floating on credit cards. And on the other hand, inflation is running hot. But if they flip the equation, inflation maybe slows down a little bit, but interest goes up. Unreal. Seriously. But anyway, I wanted to lay that out there so you could kind of understand the process behind this whole madness. I mean, what else should we call it right now? Just straight up madness, right? But anyway, this is what we're looking at as of right now. I wanted to lay this out for you so we can better understand what's going on right now. And with this inflation data, inflation data information, apparently it's very difficult for me to say inflation information. Kind of rhymes. It sounds kind of cool. Maybe I'll say it again, right? I don't know, kind of like that. Maybe I'll go tell my wife, hey, have you checked out the inflation information lately? I don't know. She wouldn't think it's very funny, but I think it's kind of funny. But anyway, so this is what I have for you right now. Again, over the last couple of days here, I've been coming back saying, you got to watch Wednesday. The new inflation data will be out. And wow, it's a doozy, right? It's not a good one. 7%. Wow. Unbelievable. Who would have thought that we'd be looking at 7% inflation? Remember the first quarter of 2021? Well, let's be real. Probably not, but I remember back then because these are all the numbers that I was watching back then. Even back then, in the first quarter of, I think it was in the second quarter of 2021, inflation was at 4.7%. And we're like, whoa, 4.7%, this is out of this world. This is huge. I think all of us would be like praying for 4.7% inflation right now. Yeah, right? That would be pretty nice these days, even though that is very, very high compared to where inflation should be at about 2%. 2% annually is the focus of the Federal Reserve. That is their baseline that they always go for, is 2%. Anyway, let's get off of this thing. Otherwise, I'm going to keep going off on a rant here, talking about interest rates and inflation, stuff that you probably don't really care about, but I wanted to give you this quick update. So I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for watching. My wife, Corey, will be back here in just a second with the new names right out of the fan club. Again, remember, the fan club is completely optional. It is not required by any means at all. It's just for those people who maybe want a little bit more. And if you're interested in checking it out, there's a link in the description. Otherwise, at the top of the comments section, I'll have a pinned comment there as well with a link. You can check it out. But please remember, all of my videos are 100% free. Always have been, always will be, as that is my favorite price, and I love to transfer my favorite price and share that with you. Free, my favorite 4-letter word. Yeah, it's a good one, right? It's just a happy-looking word. Every time you see it, you feel like, oh, I've been blessed today. Someone gave me something for free. I love it. So anyway, I hope you're doing well. Subscribe down below. If you like this video or if you want to see more of me going forward, make sure to subscribe down below. It's totally free to do so. Share this video or any of the others here on the channel. There's 2,000 videos. So with that being said, Corey, take it away, and congratulations to all of the shout-outs in this video, as that list is changing every single video. All right, Corey, take it away.
Our shout-outs go to Angie Hinkle, Tina Spence, Harita Duckworth, James Johnson, Betty Johnson, and Eddie Robinson. Thank you for being in the fan club.